Welcome to OpenPDM Integration Examples. My name is Brian Scouten, Director of Technical Presales for PROSTEP Inc. And in this presentation, we'll be going through an example of bidirectional CAD data exchange between two different connected systems utilizing OpenPDM as part of the Digital Thread platform. Digital Thread platform has a foundation of connectivity to the different environments that you see at the bottom here. So those are connectors that we have that are off the shelf that enable then the different services to work in concert to enable integration, migration, secure data exchange, and other types of processing between the different environments. So in this example, we're going to do an integration between Dassault 3DEXPERIENCE, PTC Windchill. We're going to use the connectors for those various systems, the orchestration layer with the OpenPDM Process Server, the mapping engine, and then show some monitoring as well. If you want a little bit more information about the PROSTEP Digital Thread platform, head over to prostep.com. We also have other videos that go into depth on the platform itself. So we're going to showcase a bidirectional mechanical design integration between Windchill and 3DEXPERIENCE. So that means we're going to show data within 3DEXPERIENCE being synchronized to Windchill, and then also Windchill data being synchronized to 3DEXPERIENCE. And it could be that you've got different systems that have organically grown between divisions. You want to be able to synchronize that data. Could be that you're introducing one of those systems, like you're modernizing your CATIA and you've introduced 3DEXPERIENCE in order to manage that data, and you need a process in order to synchronize that to your PLM in Windchill. So this is going to enable those types of functionality with an automated, traceable, high quality, dependable integration that will then synchronize the data behind the scenes so that you don't have your engineers doing those operations, eliminating all the quality issues that might go along with that as well. So within this bidirectional mechanical design integration, if you're in 3DEXPERIENCE, maybe you're coming up with new designs that you are releasing in 3DEXPERIENCE. You want to then synchronize to Windchill as your PLM in order to do change management and other processes downstream. In Windchill, maybe you want to move that CAD data back to 3DEXPERIENCE because it's been released already, and you could use that design in order to provide some context for new designs. So we want to be able to synchronize CAD product structure, geometry, either native or lightweight derived outputs, the bill of materials, it may be complete or a partial, like a subassembly, handle PLM specific versioning, lifecycle status, as well as variant management. We want to do that in an automated background synchronization without user interaction, so the data just naturally flows once it's hit the right milestone or status. So the process architecture looks a little bit like this, where you have OpenPDM within the middle. You've got a 3DEXPERIENCE connector that integrates to 3DX, the orchestration and a BPMN workflow engine, our mapping service, and the OpenPDM Windchill connector that integrates to Windchill. And that's how you would set up these bidirectional processes. So behind the scenes, like if you had a design release, you would trigger the synchronization event that would start the process within the orchestration layer. That would then use the 3DEXPERIENCE connectors in order to export the product structure and the designs or whatever relevant information that you need. We map that from an internal format of 3DX to Windchill, and then with the Windchill connector, import the data into Windchill, providing that design data to make it available for product lifecycle and downstream. We start our demo within 3DEXPERIENCE, where we have a small turnbuckle assembly as part of our Mars rover test data that we want to synchronize from 3DEXPERIENCE into Windchill. So as part of this, we can start with just the identifiers of that to trigger a process. These processes in a production system would be triggered through like a release or a change of status or a workflow, something like that, to automate everything so that it gets moved behind the scenes at the appropriate time. For our demo, we're going to start this process just in the process server itself with the identifier. From there, it's going to run the process. It'll go through, export the data from 3DEXPERIENCE, map the data, and then import the data to Windchill. So it took about 5 minutes to run the process, and we ended up with some warnings. And we can see what those warnings are by clicking on the box. And then looking at it, that there's an issue with mapping for some of the attributes into the soft types defined within the EPM document within Windchill. We can also see all sorts of other data. So there's before and after mappings, each process step, KPIs and logs and things like that. So you get a very good definition for each process that's been executed. And now we look in Windchill, we see the result data set that's been created there. We've got an assembly with some components. And then we can go with the workgroup manager for Windchill and load that CATIA data into CATIA v5, showing really the data being synced from 3DEXPERIENCE into Windchill. And then from here, you can then go through other PLM processes or use that data downstream. A little bit deeper look into the architecture of the bidirectional design integration between 3DX and Windchill. We've got our OpenPDM integration application, the OpenPDM base process server in the middle. This contains our BPMN workflow engine that we showed there that's powered by Camunda, as well as the mapping engine, the registry service, and some other components and microservices that power that. We also have the connectors. So each of these systems has various connectors that support different functionality. For 3DEXPERIENCE, we have our 3DX REST connector that was used in this case. We also have a Java-based connector for 3DEXPERIENCE, as well as an XPDM adapter that enables the interoperability of CAD data, as well as native client functions like export to step 242, or downsave to CATIA v5. On the Windchill side, we have our Windchill REST connector, as well as also a legacy Java connector for Windchill and RMI. And we have a workgroup manager controller that enables you to then utilize a batch process within a workgroup manager in order to import or export CAD data like JLink for Creo or workgroup manager for CATIA or SolidWorks, NX, and others. So all these components together then enable you to use the process and create a process in the middle that will then solve your use case that you need in order to exchange data. For the second part to this demo, we're going to synchronize data from Windchill back into 3DEXPERIENCE. So we have a different turnbuckle that we've identified. And we're going to go ahead and start that process again within the process engine, but that could happen as part of an automated release event or a manual trigger driven from within one of the systems as well. So we start the process, it runs through within the process Explorer here, then we can take a look at the results. We see that this one actually completes without any issue. So it's successful in all the steps. And then we can take a look at the process instance itself. So this process instance is a specific use case for exporting from Windchill, mapping data, and importing into 3DEXPERIENCE. You can see all the different steps that have been involved. As well as the different log files that are part of that. We can then look within 3DEXPERIENCE for this updated turnbuckle. We see that our Feb 25 turnbuckle is now available, and then we can load that up within 3DX and show the data and details around it. So with that, we've concluded our round trip demo of some design data within 3DEXPERIENCE and Windchill. That wraps up our demos for today. So please remember that PROSTEP is here to help. We've got hundreds of consultants working on these things for over 30 years, commercial off-the-shelf tools and software in order to quickly get you to a solution. So if you've got a question or you're looking for a solution, contact infocenter@prostep.com and we can route you to the right people in order to get you those answers to your questions. And thanks again.